The Song of Elbereth, Middle-earth Tale. Scene 4. Riders and Rangers.
One morning of mid-October found Earelda and Dinfea choosing to bypass Rivendell on their journey, instead fording the River Bruinen south of the bridge. Suddenly, Dinfea tumbled. And it must have been luck that prevented her hands from being caught in the reins, or she would have been dragged through the waters as the horse fled towards Rivendell. Earelda reined her mare in and turned to lift her handmaid from the bank. But then a shadow seemed to darken the day. She looked around and froze as her horse threatened to flee. Two dark shapes emerged from the woods.
Black Riders!
Their horses' eyes gleamed red, and they foamed at the mouth as they came plunging towards the pair. Earelda did not stop to think, but hastily drew a dagger.
The horn, Dinfea! May Elrond hear it!
But the Black Riders reined in several yards from her. The Halflings. Earelda dared not even say that she had not seen them. Holding them here would be better than having them descend upon the Halflings, lest they be without even the protection of Aragorn or the others. She gripped her dagger.
Come no closer! You shall not have them!
Dinfea was frozen, staring at the riders. Her horn half raised to her lips, then another hiss as the Black Riders moved forward. The wraith struck out at Earelda. Her dagger caught in the cloak of one before she was thrown from her horse, and narrowly escaped being trampled by the black stallions. 3 riders burst from the woods, but not Black Riders. Arwen's brothers, Elladan and Elrohir, and a Dunedain Ranger. They came between the elven maids and the wraiths with drawn swords. Elrohir swept Dinfea onto his horse as the ranger sprang in front of Earelda and blocked the wraith that was about to attack her. Elladan chased the second wraith into the woods, and the first soon followed and vanished into the trees. Both elven princes dismounted.
Elladan, Elrohir, it's good that you're here.
It is fortunate that we were near, Earelda, or both of you would surely have perished.
If you had not blown your horn, Dinfea, we would never have known to rescue you.
Elrohir gently lifted the handmaid from the ground and smiled kindly into her eyes. Earelda watched as he studied the handmaid's arm, injured in her fall, and bound it in a cloth soaked in the river. She turned then to the ranger who was watching them all, his hand still resting lightly on his sword. Tall and clad in the garb of the Dunedain, he seemed grave, yet exhilarated by the battle.
Sister, this is Berindir. He is a ranger of the north. He often patrols the lands surrounding Rivendell and the ford of Bourget. He is with us in search of those who killed his fellow ranger, Mr. not 2 days ago. It would seem we have found them.
I'm sorry to hear of your companion's death.
Thank you. He was a faithful ranger and he will be missed.
Earelda found herself recounting her tale as brief as time could make it, and could not help but wonder how often she would have to repeat it before her quest was fulfilled.
You, journeying to the Grey Havens unguided? I won't see a member of the House of Elrond tormented as our mother Celebrian was by the orcs, and your parents with her, Earelda.
As you must make this journey, make it with all haste, and be as careful as you may. Father has called us home, that we may soon journey to Lothlorien ourselves. Fate would have it that we could not have joined you, but though we may not accompany you, you will not go alone.
Berindir, far be it from me to command the Dunedain, but if it be in your power, take the Lady Earelda and her handmaid whither they will go, and guard them as if they were more than sister.
As you wish. Make haste.
And may the Valar smile upon you.
With a command in their own tongue, the elven princes sent their horses into a swift gallop, and soon had vanished.
Well, meeting any of the 9 once is more than I could wish in a lifetime. Why couldn't there have been only one of them? I'd rather meet a bullrug or a dragon. Owen, good morning.
It hasn't been a very pleasant one.
Oh, clearly.
Perhaps you should have simply said hello.
Probably.
Greetings aside, thank you.
For what? Sending those Wraiths back to their master? Oh, it was my pleasure. But you're welcome. Well, we must part. The 9 will be after us again before long, unless it is not you that draws their attention. We'll meet my sister Rhaeloth then and camp in the Trollshaws. It's but a few hours' ride. We'll reach it by nightfall. What is it, little handmaid?
She fears that there may be trolls.
There is no need for fear. Ever since the 3 were turned to stone, wandering trolls have been few and far between.
They set off through the fiery forest. The sun had already set among the trees when they came to Berindir's camp. In an abandoned, ancient tower of crumbling grey stone, left from the days where the kingdom of Rudar was peopled by the Dunedain. Berindir led the way over the fallen stones and up to a wooden door.
Ray?
The door swung open. The maiden of the Dunedain smiled when she saw them. She was dressed in a similar manner to her brother, but her coat was embroidered with stars, and her green eyes twinkled as though to counter the dark eyes of her brother.
Ah, there you are. I was so worried. I expected you to return before the sun set. Nonetheless, was your search successful?
It was. They were servants of Scheuren, Black Riders. I cannot avenge your beloved's death, but were we able to prevent further bloodshed? They attacked these maids, and Elrond's sons bade me bring them here. They journeyed to Mithlond.
Oh, that is well, I suppose. Right. Well, last time it was a cat that brought you home, brother. Now I have to learn to play handmaid. I hope they, at least, can bear the rain. Welcome to our camp, ladies.
She led them in. The little passageway was flooded ankle-deep with rainwater, and a kitten perched on a loose stone, wailing to be rescued. Berindir swept it onto his shoulder and led the 3 to the inner rooms. They sat down to a simple meal of bread, stew, and wine. Rhaeloth brought out a flute and began to play.
You play well. Thank you for offering us shelter. It is good of you to care for us when you have so much pain to bear.
Well, how could I do otherwise? Life doesn't stop where one ends. Besides, Miss Doran would be pleased. Rangers know that they always must carry on, no matter how hard it may be. Right, rest now, my lady. Tomorrow will be a long day, and the night is often swift in its flight.
Earelda and Dinfea bid them good night, but it was not long before Berindir abruptly arose from sharpening his sword and stood at the door, listening.
Didn't you hear?
Rhaeloth went to one of the windows and drew aside the curtain to look out. The minutes passed slowly. Suddenly she started and reached for her bow, thinking she had heard a strange sound. But then the door fell open and Berindir entered. He shut the door and sank to the ground. Earelda was awake in an instant and sat up.
What is it?
It's nothing.
Nothing? Nothing, brother. Look at your arm, Berindir. It's bleeding. What happened?
A troll. Of all the days in the year. He was on his last legs, but he still got me before I got him. Forgive me, ladies, for disturbing your rest. It's all right now. You can rest well. I searched the forest. There are no others here.
Listen, heed me, brother. The next time you say it's nothing, Berindir, I won't believe you. This wound is as deep, believe it or not, as your occasional soliloquies, right? Just wait a moment, and I'll bind it for you. Nothing. I can't believe it just says it's nothing.
I may be able to help him.
Oh, that would be very helpful, thank you. And while you're at it, see if an elven maid advice is better kept than that of his sister.
Earelda removed the glass vial from her belt and let a few drops of the healing water fall into Berindir's wound.
The pain is fading already. I knew of the healing skills of the elves, but...
This is not merely my skill, but the healing power of the water of Nimrodel in the forest of Lothlorien. It seems to hold the power of both laughter and tears, sorrow and love, joy and pain. All of these can heal Berindir.
That may be so, but do you refer to the Nimrodel which bears the name of this lady? An elven maid there was of old, a shining star by day. Her mantle white was hemmed with gold, her shoes of silver grey. A star was bound upon her brows, a light upon her hair, a sun upon the golden boughs in Lorien the fair.
Yes, the river is named for her. But I would advise you, if you would be fully healed, to rest. Good night, Berindir.
Good night, my lady. Tomorrow I will guide you to the grey heavens. May Elroth keep singing.